What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm MoedotJ, and we are locked in. It is Monday. It's time for All American, where the hood meets Beverly Hills, where these kids have adult lives, where these kids have a lot going on. We know last week, Crenshaw, we won that football game. It was a tough one, but we won that. We also seen that Laura Baker said, you know what? I'm resigning from my job, mainly because her daughter kind of messed it up. But before we get into today's episode, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you'll be a part of this. Hit your subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button. It's the easiest thing you can do. We are 80 subscribers away from 6,000. Let's try to get that before the end of the week. Thank y'all for rocking with me. But this week, we have a lot going on. Now, we know Coop, she got her music career going for her. We know she had the little GED party for her birthday. I hope she gets this, but I tell you guys, it's easier to get a diploma than it is a GED. But I'm not going to hold you up. Let's jump into it and see what they got. This is episode 15, All American. We just had an amazing football game. I'm talking about we were down at first. They had us in the first half, but we came back and we did our thing and won it. Now, Fausto and Spence, we know they always had a colliding relationship. And they're in here arguing. They're talking about, Spence, man, you just walked off on us. Spence is like, man, you be running your mouth, man. You make my mama's football game look good. So they're arguing, but coach is like, you know what? Y'all gonna have to talk to each other because we are this close to state. We gotta win state because if not, there ain't gonna be no football here next year, y'all. And that means my job is gonna be gone and we ain't having that. So Billy tells them we're gonna have a boys' night. All the team members, y'all got to come together. Spence says, I got work, coach. He said, I don't care if you got work. You gonna be there. If not, you ain't playing. Liv is in the kitchen and she's whipping it up. Jordan comes in. He's like, oh, shoot, what we got over here, sis? She's like, whoa, chill. Layla's coming over and we trying to get our friendship back together. So she's just, hey, here's a peace treaty. You know what I'm saying? Let's squash our little beef and let's keep it moving. See, fellas, we just like, hey, bro, my bad. I messed up. And y'all get past it. We back to, hey, you trying to play the game or something? Cool. But in comes Laura. And I discussed about Laura quitting her job and she could open up her own law firm because she still wants to be a lawyer. She just wants to do it the right way. Now she's like, maybe I could sit here and stay here with you and Layla. Tonight we have a girls' night out. Now Liv, she's not trying to have that. So she brings up, why don't you go talk to Spence's mom? She could help you out. And the reason they say talk to Spence's mom is because she used to work down at the little courthouse. So she has political connections. She has connections within the school. So there's opportunity there for Laura. But she's like, I don't know if I should ask her for help at this moment. But I'm like, you need to do something because the lights around here, Mom, they ain't going to stay on by themselves. Okay, Mama Spence, let me find out. I see they toned that afro down a little bit now. I like natural hair, but that afro she had last week is just ridiculous. But she's like, hey, it's kind of weird. Laura, she hit me up and was like, hey, she wants to talk to me about work. Spence is like, Laura Baker? She's like, yeah, I think it's kind of weird with our past. Yeah, you may have had a past where you dealt with Billy, but you just forgot your son lived in her house for a whole year. So whatever your past was before that, you still owe her at least a drink for bringing your son in and giving him an opportunity to go to that school. Because she could have easily told Billy no. But Grace being Grace, she always tells Spence the best thing. She like, hey, maybe what you and Fausto got, y'all don't have to play nice, but just get around each other and hear what each other got to say. Lived and made the food. She thought Layla was coming over by herself, but guess what? Hey, it's me and Carrie. Or should we call her Karen? Her name is Carrie. But Liv is like, I don't think I met you. And she's like, oh yeah, I was down at the facility. That's how I met Layla. And we're cool. We're just here together. We're being roommates. So what Layla is doing, and I can see it. You remember Asher lived at the house, but you couldn't leave Asher by himself because he ran some poker stuff. You can't leave this girl at your house either because you really don't know what she's running from. She's been getting text messages, but she's not replying back to it. So Layla's like, yeah, this isn't happening again. I'm going to bring her with me. Word to the wise, you can't let the white folks stay in your house by yourself. They do some weird things. But I love white people. I ain't got no problem with y'all. Well, a majority of y'all. Well. The principal comes down and he's talking to Billy. He's like, hey, I just got a call from somebody's mom. And Billy's like, oh yeah, that's going to be a tough one. I just cut her son. We were in the playoffs. This kid is 5 foot and you're just now cutting him. First of all, you don't have enough players at this school to be cutting anybody. It's everybody that comes out gets to play. And second of all, you're not cutting anybody unless they have grade problems or that's it, or disciplinary problems. You're not cutting nobody before the playoffs. You want to have as many players on that side for the intimidation factor, even if he is little. But the principal's like, okay, yeah, whatever about that. But Billy, he pulls out some drink and he's like, let me get something a little bit lighter for you because, you know, I might drink you up under the table and you ain't gonna handle it. He said, oh, no, let's get it then. But this looks like we know where Liv gets her drinking from. Her pappy, Mr. Billy Baker. Spencer's at work. We know he got to have his man-to-man time with Frosto. And he's talking to Jordan and them. They like, hey, man, we don't get no discount no more. He's like, nah, JJ messed that up with that night of 1,000 wings. So Frosto shows up. I would have been like, hey, Spence, I don't have the money to go up to Beverly Hills, bro. When you come back to Crenshaw tonight, I'm gonna link up with you. I'm not driving all the way up there or catching no bus to hang out. Plus, I don't feel comfortable on that side of town. But he shows up, and Asher's like, hey, Frosto, you play pool or anything? So at least he'll be here, and Spencer will have two people that he's actually cool with to be there to, you know, intervene. Liv's whole plan was messed up when Layla showed up with Carrie. Now she's here and they're talking about, hey, let's watch Us. And she's like, I don't want to watch that because the main character is the villain. And Liv is just like, we've been wanting to see this for so long. You ruined it. But Layla's like, hey, just work with her. I'm like, hell no. Y'all gotta get about my house, man. I thought it was going to be me and you, Layla. I thought it was going to be us. Now you got Carrie up in here ruining things. The two mamas, they meet up and where they go to the Slauson Coffee Shop. Of all places, everyone goes there, but supposedly they have an adults only singles night where they serve liquor. And you know, they in there. At first the conversation was a little bit awkward, but then Denise came in. Now we know Denise, she's been after Billy. She was after dang, I forgot his name, R.I.P. Grace's husband, dang, Corey. And Denise is like, she's taking whatever walking around. So the two ladies, they like, well, it's better than having coffee. We got some wine so we can talk and gossip a little bit, you know. Coach and principal, they been in here just drinking. But now they like, oh man, I could go out there and hit 215 right now, boy. You don't want me to punch you, Billy, because I hurt you. And Billy's like, man, you can't lift no 215. He gets out there, he cleans it. Probably about 5 or 6 times. They picked it up. Very dangerous. Don't do this, people, if you've been drinking. It's not gonna be a good outcome. But they in here and Billy's like, oh man, I didn't think you could do that because you're a regular person. He was like, regular? Billy was like, yeah, because I played in the NFL. So the principal said, you know what, let me see what you can do then, Mr. NFL. They out here playing pool. Spencer's back there cleaning up and getting ready to lock up. Asher and Jordan, they're talking to Fausto and they're like, dang, you are actually pretty good. Spence comes out and says, hey man, let's just take a picture, send it to coach and say we played pool all night. But Jordan, it's something about those Bakers. They bring everybody together. And Jordan said, nah, how about we do Crenshaw versus Beverly Hills? You know, like we did back in season 1. You know what I'm saying? $50 a game. I'm like, whoa. I just worked 4-5 hours. I'm getting about $6.75, $7 an hour. I can't do no $50 a game. Let's do 10 a game. Now they just in here drinking and throwing up weight. Billy done racked up 235, 15 reps. He NFL strength. You want to touch it? He's like, man, nah, bro. I only came in here one time when I was a kid, man. I was too skinny for all that. Plus, my mom made me dress like Urkel, the cool one, Stefan Urkel. And Billy's like, really? There's got to be a yearbook or something in there. They about to go back and reminisce, and I guess they're going to bring up the situation that happened, and this is going to get them through it. Talk things out. Hey, you can squash a lot of beef. Since we're not watching a movie, we're just going to sit here and do a little chit chat. Hopefully these are non-alcoholic beverages because we know that Liv does not need that. But Carrie's there and she's talking and she starts rambling and running her mouth about stuff that Layla done talked about. Like, it's good that you're here. You and Layla, you guys are getting back together. It's a real sisterhood with the stolen boyfriends, the drunken outbursts. Liv's looking over at Layla like, you told her everything? Like, she gets up and walks off like, dang, that was supposed to be between us. And Layla tells Carrie, hey, you can't be telling her that stuff. I told you that in confidence. She's like, oh my gosh, let me go apologize. Grace and Laura see Denise over there just rambling. They like, oh man, let's get up out of here. When they get ready to leave, some dude that look like Draymond Green comes over like, hey, and they like, nah, we're good. And Denise thinks that they're waving at her. So she comes over with 2 shots. Grace and them like, oh Lord. Denise is like, y'all gonna take these shots. What is this, the battle of Billy's exes? And they're like, nah, not really. We just about to head on out of here. So Denise makes them take a drink. They all take a shot. Grace takes hers, and she just instantly goes from knowing what's going on to, I'm kind of drunk. If I was up in that Crenshaw thing, I looked over, seen Denise. I'm like, oh, we drinking? What's happening? Went over there, got me a drink, slid the number or whatever. But they get over there. Grace starts talking about Spencer and Dylan, how they're conspiring against her. Laura's like, give me that wine. You over here just talking. But Denise looked like she's there for a good time. All right, the game is on the line. $50. Frosto, Spencer. 8-ball, side pocket. That's all we got to do is sink this thing. Jordan and Asher, they over there instigating. Frosto like, man, take the shot. Spencer like, I'll do it when I want to. I ain't never seen no young man this damn mad at everything he does. It's just always an attitude and angry. But Spence gets over there. He lines the cue ball up. Back out. 8-ball corner pocket. Scratch. White ball went in right after it. But Jordan's like, hey, we'll give you 2 an opportunity to double or nothing. So I think this is going to get Frosto and Spencer to actually work together and win. And then they're going to see, hey, man, if we work together, we could do anything. We can win state. Principal Carter, they open up the yearbook and we see he does look like Urkel. He got the white vest on. I'm like, okay, this is Urkel. D'Angelo Carter. He's like, man, I wish my mom had some style. Billy says, yeah, good thing mine did. So it was always good. And then Principal Carter, he goes into detail. Yeah, your mom, she was cool. Like that, I didn't have many friends, so she would let me hang out with her during lunchtime. So he would eat his lunch with her, and he would just talk to her. And he also tells Billy, your mom is one of the reasons why I got into education, because that was the one close bond he had while he was in school. So that's cool. So for Billy, he's looking at it like, dang, that's pretty cool, man. That is pretty cool. This week, I guess, is the focus on adults drinking. We got Billy and Principal drinking. We got Denise, Laura, Grace drinking. But Denise is like, yeah, I be on these dating apps. It's either swipe left or swipe right. And she is very, very picky. So there's a dude in there. We got like some blonde hair. She's like, nope, hair's trash. Then some other dude, they're like, okay, what about him? Nah, too short. What about him? Nah, he walking on his toes. And then they say, what about the bartender? She looks over, rubs hands like Birdman, like, oh yeah, that bartender. And I gotta give me another drink too. So we're gonna see if she's gonna get on the bartender or not. Spence and Frosto, they lose back-to-back games. So now they lost the first 50 and they paid another 50. Frosto gets mad and says, oh, I know what's going on here. Y'all 3 are hustling me. When I leave, y'all gonna split the money. Now, mind you, they played 2 games at 50 a game. That means Spence did 50, he did 50. So that means they're only going to be splitting $50 between 3 people, which would be like $16.60 or something like that. So Frosto throws the money and is like, I'm out. And Asher and Jordan are like, doesn't that sound like someone else that came to Beverly? Because Spencer's saying, man, you see what I'm dealing with? And they're like, yeah, that's just like you were when you came to Beverly Hills. You were tough against all of us and you didn't trust none of us. You're going to have to open up to Frosto and see what he's about, because he's been living there. You left and came back and you make it seem like you're better than them, but you're not. Go back and become one with them. Get back with your people, bruh. I should probably become a psychologist or something, how I'd be catching on to this and breaking it down. Spence goes outside and he talks to Frosto about it. And Frosto's like, man, that $50, man, that's all I had. It may not be a lot to you, but to me, that's some $50 is some bread, especially for a high school student. But he didn't want these rich people to see that he didn't have the money for it. That's the same thing that got Asher in trouble. And I always say, man, don't fake it. If you ain't got the money, say you ain't got the money. I mean, I can afford whatever I want to do, but if someone's like, hey, let's do this, and I ain't got the bread for it, I'm like, nah, I don't feel ashamed for not having the money. It's, hey, there's nothing you can do that's going to be like, oh, man, I feel bad. Like, I don't want y'all, forget all that. But Spencer tells Frosto, look, they think they got us down. Let's go back in there. Let's team up. Let's get this right, and we gonna win. What I say earlier, they gonna come together, and they gonna realize we're better together than separate. Let's go win this bread. That's gonna be 150 we get to split between 2, 75 a piece. Woo. Denise is in here talking about, yeah, I gotta look for a guy that's compatible for me. I have my 2 kids and I took in my sister's daughter. So the guy freaked out when he heard I had 3 kids at home, and Grace is like, yeah, you know what? No more wasting time. That guy wasn't good enough for you. Let's not worry about mediocre men and cherish us women. Denise is over here jumping from each and every dude that she sees. She was on Billy, she's on Corey. So, hey, she's mediocre also. She has 2 kids. We don't know where the father is. So let's not make it seem like she's above anybody. She took in her sister's daughter. Okay, I respect her for that. But the other 2, those are on you. So let's not just say these men are mediocre because they don't want to deal with a woman with kids. Like, come on now. You're not better than anybody, Denise. Uh-oh, we in the yearbook. We bringing back some memories. Carter's looking like, hold up. You dated Grace Harper, Billy Baker and Grace Harper, SCHS, Homecoming King and Queen, 94? It looks like we're just going to be all the way down memory lane because Carter's like, man, I used to come to your games, man, it used to be crazy. The crowd was going wild when you would get in. And Billy's like, yeah, you was in the band though, right? Y'all was amazing also. And he was like, yeah, I'm still amazing now. So I guess they about to go to the band room. Let me see. Is there a trumpet in here? I used to play a trumpet when I was in school too. I played from 4th grade up to 6th grade and then I quit. Carrie goes and tries to apologize to Liv about saying what she said. Now she has conflicting stories because what she was hearing from Layla, she's saying, oh, Layla helped you out, did this and this. And Liv was like, that's not how it went. I actually got her help and things worked. So everything that you're saying is wrong. So Carrie's saying, you want me to leave? And she's like, nah, you don't have to leave. All she wants Carrie to understand is like, I wanted time with Layla so we can rekindle our friendship and get back to where we were. We didn't need someone else stepping in because now we can't have the conversations that we actually want to have because you're here and you're just rambling and talking about nothing. So it probably would be good if she just let these 2 talk, but Liv's not going to say anything. She's just like, nah, you can stay. They go to the auditorium and I thought he was going to play the trumpet. My boy Carter got on the piano. He's okay, I got it. And Billy's like, I know you wanna leave me, but I refuse to let you go. If I gotta beg and please for your sympathy, I don't mind, cause it means that much to me. Ain't you about the best? I'm talking about Billy in here singing, and now we got the good times rolling. This episode is about people that may have not been the closest coming together, because while they're in here singing, we got the girls wilding out. You got the girls riding, they got the Uber picking them up in the Escalade, look like a 2021 on their ass. Got Grace hanging out the window with the champagne, Denise and Laura on the inside. Spencer and Frosto, they have the pool hall, they shooting thing, they about to win this 150 back. I know Asher and Jordan are like, oh man, what did we get into? Frosto and Spence, they in here, they got that confidence now. Jordan's like, oh man, I hope he don't miss. Frosto like, oh, don't worry about it, he ain't gonna miss. Spence over there chalking it up. Hits the 8 ball in, we winning this money, man. That's that teamwork, that's that Crenshaw confidence. They finished singing. Billy's like, oh man, we sound good together. We should go on the road now. You remember, Billy told him he should probably just get you a punch in on me, man, to get back even with what happened when we was younger. And bow, out of nowhere, D'Angelo, the boy, he gives him a good one. And Billy's like, whoo, man, that's a good punch. And D'Angelo's like, man, you know what? I do feel good. I do feel better about this. You got to get that balled up anger out of your system. Liv and Layla, they kind of talk to each other and they say, man, we'll get through all this. Carrie comes out and she says, I apologize, about earlier, but I'm not feeling too well. I'm gonna go ahead and head home. Layla said, I got you. She's like, nah, it's supposed to be you two tonight, so y'all do that. I'll just see you back at the house. So they're gonna actually be able to have their conversation. Now we got us a friendly little competition. South Crenshaw versus Beverly Hills. Now, they broke even on their money because they just played the double or nothing. So it's 50-50, you know what I'm saying? We back even. But Spencer says, you know what? I got a better idea. Let's play a trust game. They're going to put cups on top of their head. They're going to have Frosto and Jordan throw these balls and try to knock the cups up off their head. Now, this is going to be a lot of trust. Not only does a quarterback have to have accuracy, but you have to trust that they're going to hit the cup so you don't move and the cup falls off. So now Spencer's in Asher's head talking about, you got to trust Jordan. Now, you know he has a concussion. He may not be able to see that cup correctly. And Jordan is saying, oh, I got it, Asher. Now Asher's like, man, I really don't know. Oh, man. Got in Asher's head. As soon as they throw, Asher drops. Cup falls off his head. Spencer stays there with his hands behind his back. Ball knocks the cup clean off. Yes, sir. We are out here. This may be exactly what we need to get us to the championship game. Because I don't know about that Cash character. He did all right, but hey, maybe Frost still got a cannon. Maybe we can put him at quarterback. Now the two men, they're sitting there and they're talking because it had to be done. But now that it's out the way, he's saying, what aren't you good at? You can sing, you play football, you dated Grace James. I had to punch you. He was like, yeah, well, I'm not good at marriage. Now, Carter says that's one thing I was good at until, unfortunately, my wife passed. And I haven't been on a date since then. And Billy tells him the first thing you should do then, you know, if you're interested in Grace, is just ask her. Ask to take her out and see where it goes from there. Because if you have that connection with her, now we've seen that they do their little interactions in the hallway. And he's just trying to get closer and closer because he probably had a crush on her when they was in school. So Billy's like, hey, do it, bro. All she can do is tell you no. Listen carefully, fellas, because Billy's going to give you a little bit of game and I'm going to put the extra sauce on top of that game. Now, Carter is getting ready to text her, but what he's about to do is text her a poem by Langston Hughes. Billy's like, oh, whoa, hey, don't text her that. That's not how you're going to get you a date. First of all, you haven't even interacted with her on that kind of a level. So you just got to, you know, feel where the water is and invite her out for a date. Never be afraid to ask a woman for a date. If she turns you down, though, don't go back, man. Just move on to something else because she's going to have that upper hand. But Billy's like, look, let me go ahead and text Grace for you. I know what to say. One thing about Billy is he still got that game. So he knows how to get to Grace's heart. That's just if y'all ain't noticed. But yeah, if she turns you down, don't beg for another date. If she wants to go on a date, she'll come back around. But if not, find something else, fellas. This turned from All American to Sex in the City. Now, Billy sent the text message to Grace as D'Angelo. Now, I told you, Billy still got that text game. You got to see what the, you know what I'm saying, feel what the energy is. So all he texts was sup. And all the girls is like, oh, whenever a man says sup, it means sup. Like, what's happening? What you getting into? What you about to, you know what I'm saying? Is it cool if I pull up? So Grace, she hasn't really been texting that much. So she doesn't know nothing about it. But Denise is like, yeah, Billy always been good with that text game. And then they get on Lord talking about what's the relationship between you. She's like, oh, I still love him and stuff. And now they're like, no, but we talking about Grace though. And Denise is like, yeah, I think I needed this. So like I told you earlier, this episode looks like it's focusing on opposites coming together and building a bond. Now these three women, they may be kicking it, but we need to know what's going to happen between D'Angelo and Grace. Because Billy is the one texting, so it could be Billy like, this is what I would say to Grace if, you know what I'm saying, if I was trying to get back in there. The girls are here. They're watching us. They stop it. They're like, what would you do if you seen you looking at you talking like, ugh. She's like, shoot, I go give me some more cheese puffs. But Liv brings up the question, do you think it's good to have Carrie crashing at your house? And this gets Layla to be defensive. Why? Because she was at a mental health facility. You know, I was there too. So it's like, it's kind of like you throwing shade on me, like saying someone that went to that facility. But she's saying, no, it's just some little vibe. Like I told y'all earlier, like I wouldn't have let somebody just go to my house by themselves either. So I don't know. But Layla took it as, dang, so you're kind of judging me. But that's the difference between girls and boys. Like dudes, we would have just been like, hey, bro, I think you got to watch them. But for them, it's like, dang, that's how you feel? You feel like that towards me too? But Layla leaves. Spence and Frost, though, they win it. They dap Jordan and Ash up and they get on out of here. Now, if I was the owner of this Beverly Hills Cafe, there's no way I'm letting Spence stay in here after hour with these knuckleheads. No sirree, Bob. Y'all get y'all ass up out of this and go home. But Frost was like, man, I didn't believe you trusted me like that. And Spence is saying, yeah, man, I thought you wanted to win money over knocking my teeth out. And they're like, man, maybe Billy was right. This little get together we had actually worked for us. And then Frost will say, yeah, your boys, they aren't that bad themselves. Spence says, yeah, that's family. And then out of nowhere, Frosto's like, oh, so if it came down between Crenshaw and Beverly Hills in the state championship, what family are you going to have? I'm like, hey, bro, I play for South Crenshaw. You think I'm going to lose so they can win? What benefit do I get from that, from them winning? Like, come on, man. Y'all be thinking about the dumbest stuff on this show. But I'm like, hey, I'm playing for South Crenshaw. I came back for a reason, to try to keep the school, to try to win a championship for where my dad went to school at. Come on, man. But they finally see eye to eye. He's like, man, you got to trust me, Fausto. Fausto's like, I'll see you on the field, James. So that's good. They put this behind them. Carter's like, damn, man, I should have texted Grace that poem, man. I ain't heard back from her. And Billy's giving them the pep talk. Like, listen, you got to put yourself out there. If you don't try, then you'll never know. And that's why I say, never be afraid to ask a woman out. The worst thing she could do is tell you no. And at that case, you wasn't on a date. You wasn't dating her in the first place. So it doesn't matter. Life goes on. But Billy said, man, don't tell the team that I can sing, because I don't need them getting on my head about that. He's like, I ain't going to tell nobody. But then he gets a text, and it's Grace. You know, she got that drink in her system. He got that drink in his system. You know what adults do. Hey, why don't you stop by for a little bit? She didn't say that, but you know. I don't know if Carter's going to be able to pick up from here. You may need, hey, Billy, send another text, bro. I don't know what to say next. Grace comes home. She toe up. She been texting D'Angelo, you know what I'm saying? Spencer, Mom, have you been drinking? Where you been? It's late. You could have texted. Spencer, shut your butt up and go in your room. I'm the mom around here. I pay the bills. Now, she talking about him and Dylan, y'all thick as thieves. Because you remember she said they were conspiring against her. But it's just two brothers being close. Me and my younger brother, we got all kinds of code that we used to talk when we were little, whenever my parents and stuff came around. But that's just life. But she ends up laying down because, hey, a long night of drinking, took them shoes off. Hey, wake me up in the morning. The kids come downstairs because they hear their mom knocking around like, well, man, what the hell? They come down. She like, oh, hey, kids. Whew. Thank y'all for telling me to go out with Grace. She's a little bit drunk. She's like, yeah, okay, kids, I'm good. So they go back upstairs. But guess what they down there doing? Billy done snuck in the house and they getting they grown people stuff on the couch that we were watching us. Billy's like, hey, Jordan got married behind our back. We can do a little something on on the low. She's like, I like texting you. He's like, yeah, you know, I got something on my sleeve. And see, Billy sent the poem to his wife. And the reason he did that is because he's already established that kind of relationship with her. Now, D'Angelo couldn't send that to Grace because she would have been like, man, what is this? Is this some school stuff? But see, when you already have that connection and bond with somebody, you can send that type of... Y'all come to me if y'all need some dating advice. I got all of y'all. There you go. Episode 15 of All American. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Fausto and Spence, they gonna get on that field and they gonna win state together? Because that new relationship that they got looks like it's A1. Let me know what y'all think. I'm MoedotJ. Thanks for watching. If you like the content on the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. 80 subscribers away from 6,000. We on our way. Thanks for growing with me. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.